I can certainly tell you how my divorce left me worse off. First, financially, definitely hurt me quite a bit there. It brought gray hairs that I had never had before. I lost friends. I gained anxiety. There's no shortage to the ways that my divorce negatively impacted me. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. What I'm going to share with you today instead are 10 ways that your divorce has, believe it or not, made you better than before. So the first way that divorce makes you better is maturity. You know, you have to be a legal adult to get married in most states, but that doesn't mean that most of us were fully developed adults. I know I definitely felt like I was kind of play acting at it. And we often go into our first marriages still kind of childlike, still naive. We may have a belief in soulmates, or you may be like I was, stubbornly insisting that there is no way that divorce could ever happen to me. I know better than that. And then, life proves otherwise. So I like to say that divorce is kind of like a drill sergeant screaming, "Grow up," into our tear-streamed faces. You know, you don't have a choice with divorce. It's getting real. You've got to grow up. And so by the time you've made it through, you've gained a maturity that you may not have had before. Divorce helps to build your confidence. And I know that may seem a little strange because at the beginning, divorce has a way of destroying any confidence that you had, especially if there was an affair involved where you really start to doubt yourself. But I'm talking more about the long term, because here's the thing. Whenever you successfully achieve something that you never thought you could make it through, you gain confidence in your abilities. Whenever you face your fears and make it out the other side, you feel pretty darn good about yourself. And that's the thing with divorce. It is this huge undertaking, this enormous wall that we have to climb. And we doubt ourselves along the way. We wonder if we're strong enough. And then one day we look back and we realized, whoa, I did that. I'm pretty darn amazing, aren't I? And that is a great feeling. Divorce gives us the gift of perspective. I like to say that you don't really understand a thing until you've seen it from all sides. And marriage is certainly like that. You now have been through a marriage and out the other side of it. And so now you can look back and see a different image of it and gain a deeper understanding than you could while you were in it. You know, there's a reason that some of the best marriage advice comes from people that have been divorced, because they understand what it takes to make a marriage work. And they also understand what sometimes seemingly small things can lead to its demise. So you've gained some amazing perspective now on what makes relationships work and what things to look out for in the future. Divorce has given you gratitude, because when you lose everything, you appreciate everything. You're probably more grateful than ever for the friends that stepped up. You really appreciate all of those little gifts and joys that you have in your life. You're not going to take things for granted in the same way that maybe you did before. You're more aware. You're more thankful. That's pretty cool. Divorce gives you more empathy. Now that you have lived through this pain yourself, you're more likely to see, honor, and respect that sort of pain in others. It also is a chance to let go of the ego. It's a time where you're more likely to be able to look at different viewpoints and appreciate them. So the thing with divorce is it puts us more in touch with humanity. and all of life's experiences, not just the good ones. So now, because of your new empathy, you are going to be a better friend, a better listener for others. That's a pretty big gift. Divorce makes you independent. And you may be thinking, hey, I was independent before. But yeah, there's something like realizing that there's nobody else in your household, no other adults that can help you fix this problem to make you figure out how to get it done. Also, a lot of us, myself included, put too much of the responsibility for our own happiness on our ex. And now they're gone. And so you have to learn how to take responsibility for your own happiness. And at first that's daunting. It's overwhelming. It's scary. It may not feel fair. But here's the cool thing. Once you realize that you are the one responsible for your own happiness, nobody else can ever take that away from you, no matter what your circumstances. So ultimately, accepting responsibility is taking a gift of freedom. Divorce gives us humility. It's a reality slap across the face. It tells us that no matter how much we want something to be true, we cannot force it to be true. It tells us the limitations of our own control and our own power, and that we can't make everything perfect, no matter how much we work, no matter how much we wish. And it's a tough one to swallow, but it's also one of those qualities that ultimately makes you a better person. Divorce gives you fortitude. If there's one thing about the divorce process, from the legal to the emotional, healing to the dealing with the bureaucracy and the paperwork, it takes grit. It is definitely a marathon and not a sprint. And so as you've gone through that, as you've gathered up that strength to get up out of bed yet another day and face all of this, you've become stronger. You've developed that fortitude, and that is going to serve you well in the future. Divorce grants you awareness. Oftentimes, divorce is a wake-up call. Many of us realized prior to the divorce we were living life on autopilot. Maybe we weren't really in tune with what was going on around us or within us. So this is that alarm clock ringing, that reminder to, hey, wake up. This is life. You're in it. Pay attention. So now the only thing that you're awake, you got to make sure that you don't nod off again. Divorce helps to build your ingenuity. I bet that you faced problems going through your divorce that you did not have a ready-made solution for, whether that be learning how to fix the dishwasher on your own, figuring out how to pay the bill, or simply figuring out how to get the tear stains out of your shirt before you went into work for the day. Divorce is definitely an opportunity to practice our problem-solving skills. So you've probably become pretty good at them. And then finally, the last way that divorce makes you better than before, divorce gives you wisdom. It's a time for reflection and a time for analysis. And now that you've been through that divorce and you're better than you were, now it's time to put all of those lessons into action.